Chapter 49 is called, What Do You Want, Miggery So? Again, readers, we must go backward before we can go forward. We must consider for a moment what had occurred with the rat and the serving girl and the princess down in the dungeon before Despereaux made his way to them. What happened was this. Roscuro led the Pea and Mig deep into the dungeon to a hidden chamber, and there he directed Mig to put the princess in chains.
Gore, said Mig, she's going to have a hard time learning her lessons if she's all chained up like.
Do as I say, said Roscuro.
Maybe, said Mig, before I lock her up, her and me could switch outfits so we could start in already with her being me and me being a princess.
Oh, yes, said Roscuro, certainly. A wonderful idea, Miss Miggery. Princess, take off your crown and give it to the serving girl. The Pea sighed and took off her crown and handed it to Mig. And Mig put it on, and it slid immediately right down her small head and came to rest quite painfully on her poor, abused ears.
It's the biggest thing, she said. It's not painful like.
Well, well, said Roscuro.
How do I look?
And Mig asked, smiling at him.
Ridiculous, he said. Laughable.
Mig stood blinking back tears.
You mean I don't look like a princess? She said to the rat.
I mean, said Roscuro, you will never look like a princess. No matter how big a crown you put on your tiny head, you look exactly like the fool you are and always will be. Now, make yourself useful and chain the princess up. Dress-up time is over. Mig sniffed and wiped at her eyes and then bent to look at the pile of chains and locks on the floor. And now, princess, he said, I'm afraid that the time for your truth has arrived. I will now tell you what your future holds. As you consigned me to darkness, so I consign you, too, to a life spent in the dungeon.
Mig looked up. Well, ain't she going upstairs to be a serving girl?
No, said Roscuro.
Well, ain't I gonna be a princess then?
No, said Roscuro.
But I won't be a princess.
No one, said Roscuro, cares what you want. As you know, readers, Miggery So had heard this sentiment expressed many times in her short life. But now in the dungeon, it hit her in full force. The rat was right. No one cared what she wanted. No one had ever cared, and perhaps, worst of all, no one ever would care.
I won't, cried
Mig. Shh, said the princess.
Oh, be quiet, said the rat.
I won't, sobbed Mig.
I won't. I won't.
What do you want, Mig? The princess said softly.
What?
Shouted Mig. What do you want, Miggery So? The princess shouted.
Don't ask her that, said Roscuro. Be quiet, be quiet.
But it was too late. The words had been said. The question at last had been asked. The world stopped spinning and all of creation held its breath, waiting to hear what it was that Miggery So wanted.
I won't,
said Mig. Yes, shouted the Pea.
I want my ma,
cried Mig into the silent, waiting world.
I want my ma.
Oh, said the princess. She held out her hand to Mig. Mig took hold of it. I want my mother too, said the princess softly, and she squeezed Mig's hand.
Stop it,
shouted Roscuro. Chain her up! Chain her up!
Gore, said Mig. I ain't gonna do it.
You can't make me do it. I got the knife, don't I? She took the knife and held it up. If you have any sense at all, said Roscuro, and I heartily doubt that you do, you will not use that instrument on me. Without me, you will never find your way out of the dungeon, and you will starve to death here, or worse.
Gore, said Mig, then lead us out now, or I will chop you into little bitty rat pieces.
No, said Roscuro. The princess shall stay here in the darkness, and you, Mig, will stay with her.
But I want to go upstairs, said Mig.
I'm afraid we're stuck here, Mig, shouted the princess, unless the rat has a change of heart and decides to lead us out. There will be no changes of heart, said Roscuro. None.
Gore, said Mig. She lowered the knife.
And so the rat and the princess and the serving girl sat together in the dungeon as, outside the castle, the sun rose and moved through the sky and sank to the earth again, and night fell. They sat together until the candle had burned out and another one had to be lit. They sat together in the dungeon. They sat and sat. And readers, truthfully, they might be sitting there still if a mouse had not arrived. That's the end of the chapter. So what changed Mig in this chapter? Why isn't she going to lock up the princess anymore? Yeah, because the princess finally asked her what she wanted. Had anyone ever cared what Mig wanted? No. And what did she want? Yeah, you're right, she wanted her mom. What did the princess also want? Her mom, huh? Sounds like they both have that in common. All right, let's see what happens when Despereaux arrives.